All right. I've learned from experience. I did a perfunctory reboot today. Good morning. Good morning. Now I should be able to hear myself. Let's see if I go live now. Hold on. Yep. So, good morning. We should have a great turnout today. Today, we are going to talk about a live build out without a net, as usual, of the Fluent community plugin and the new customizer, as well as the other LaunchKit accessories. The purpose for today is that not only is it that the Fluent community is officially released, but I've had such a backlog in my audience, hundreds and hundreds of people asking me about, is this going to be the thing that's going to replace BuddyPress, BBPress, BuddyBoss? And the answer is definitively yes. I mean, we've arrived. But what I'm going to show you now is we are on the way towards a larger thing. And by the way, if you guys could please confirm for me, please confirm sound and video good. We are on the way to what I like to say is a larger comprehensive solution that has been, quite honestly, a year plus in the making. I mean, if you add WordPress in general, it's 19, 20 years in the making. But this is something that I talked about in good morning, Julie. Good morning, Alan. This is something I talked about starting in about 2023 that because of my relationship with the amazing team at WP Managed Ninjas, on top of the other relationships I have with other key developers, we finally had all of the components that one needs in a box that I can start delivering as a service WordPress. The current political events with what's going on with WordPress and Mr. Mullenweg and everything else have made this even more relevant, because at the moment, good morning, Bernie, at the moment, what we've got is chaos for those who just want to get to building. And what I can offer you today is an example of how you can just come on in out of the rain, out of the storm, and just get what you need. And some of the folks here today are clients of mine and friends who are using this solution at the moment as an alternative to other platforms. For example, having WordPress connecting to Circle or connecting to Mighty Networks, or even if they had been BuddyPress and BuddyBoss. So today I'm going to show you how we can all cooperate, and I do cooperate directly with the team at WP Managed Ninjas to deliver this kind of a thing. Let me set up a couple things real quick. I'm going to do my screen share. I had to do a reboot, so I lost the extra 5 minutes of last minute Spence, but that's okay. I love to work without a net on the fly. Good morning, Sharon. Good to see you as well. And I'm glad that you guys keep me honest, but if something goes with the mic and everything else, just keep me posted. I have as one of my toys to play with this weekend is my Stream Deck. So I hope to get finally my camera controls and everything a little more automated. Okay, so what we're going to do today, and I'm just going to dive right into it. Let me also put up, I might as well put up a screen shot so that we have something here. This is the big one. I'll put up a screenshot just so we have something to reference this if somebody's looking. Is we're going to do community live building customized. Today I'm going to show you without a net how you would start from scratch, because one of my personal goals has been to redocument how all of this works, make it easier for people to start from scratch, as if you were buying WordPress as a service and you needed all of these features. Now, there's a lot of argument that some folks in the old world might have that, look, you should still buy all of your plugins down at the flea market and so on and so forth. And I disagree. Respectfully, I have a wonderful relationship with all of those folks who make the stuff that we're including in the kit, including the things that I make. But the truth be told is that we all understand it's open source software. So what I am offering as an alternative to a la carte old-fashioned buying parts and building your car is, what if WordPress parts were delivered by a concierge in a ready-to-drive model that still gave you all the features, all the control, but were wrapped with what I'm going to call a concierge relationship, so that the things that I'm showing you now are standardized amongst thousands upon thousands of people, which means that I can now give ready-made solutions, ready-made answers on scale in the forms that have been working so far. Number one, unlimited email. When you join LaunchKit, you get unlimited email consultation with me about the things that you're doing here. Two, of course, hands-on. But what I'm going to be putting in today is also the intermediary. I'm going to be using Fluent Community as an option as well. I'm going to be having a private paid community group for folks who want that intermediary option, which is to congregate with other folks who are using the same solution, but also to get from me the kinds of cool stuff that I'm showing you here, where it's too random to necessarily put into a plugin or to put into a full, course or anything. It's like if you were on the Insiders Club of IKEA or Lego Builders Club, it's like all that cool insider stuff, so that you don't have to pay necessary hands-on price to have a one-on-one with me, but you get essentially all of the benefits. And you also get the things that I'm building for other clients, because I'll be sharing those inside of here. All right, having said that, let's jump in. I want to let you guys know that I just drank my coffee. So as the coffee kicks in, you're going to see my speed increase like 1,000%. But to know me is to realize this is how it works. What I have here is a site that is what you would get if you went over to wplaunchify.com and started with the LaunchKit. So just to be clear about where I'm going, I'm starting with a rocket.net site that's included in your $97 a month. So if you think of it as a comparison to Mighty Networks or to Circle SO, those I think it's circle.so, right? Yeah. Those platforms all have pricing that, when you look at the feature set, has a fraction of the features, but you're still paying that much at least anyway. I mean, look at Circle. Even their base Pro, which doesn't have anything close to what we can offer today, starts at $89 and goes up real quickly to $200 a month, $360 a month. Even with School, I think it's school.com. I think the pricing there is similar. And School is a bit of a gimmick, to be honest, because it doesn't really have any of these other features. It just has the social networking. I don't know where their pricing page is, because that's Sam Ovens. So you're going to be looking at something that's essentially starting from here. What we're going to do first is, you can always add LaunchKit to get all this stuff I'm going to install by going to wplaunchify.com, and in a free page, our software bundle page, you can just click here to download LaunchKit. Because of some drama in the WordPress repository, I had to give it the name LaunchKit Pro, but it's just LaunchKit. What I'm going to do instead is show you why I went through the drama of the repository. So let's go to the plugins area, and let's just install LaunchKit. So in order to keep it listed after the whole team at WordPress delisted a bunch of plugins, I needed to dismember all of the features of it. But it now acts as just a nice starting point as a billboard. So you go to the repository and you just install LaunchKit regular. Once it's installed, all we need to do is click one button and it updates automatically to LaunchKit Pro. So let's go here. And Pro is a misnomer because it's still free. You activate the Pro version, it does the conversion for you, ta-da, magic ensues. We're done. First setup we do is I click all of the checkboxes here, and I'm going to disable the white label so that I can still see the admin menu. But this will otherwise make the experience very clean and simple for anybody who's familiar with using WordPress, compared to the normal way of doing things, which has just become kind of a million graffiti vandals spraying your WordPress site and bouncing around and launching you, taking all over the place. This calms the whole thing down. So number one step you're going to do is you're going to use, I have a test account set up today. I'm just going to use my WP Launchify subscription. If you have the LaunchKit, the $97 a month, or even the software bundle, $47 a month, you have access to what I'm going to show you now. And it doesn't use or need license keys, because we've simplified this. Just use your email, man. That's it. Why should it be so hard? Number one is I always install the Cadence theme as a basis for this, because this is what's stabilized. Kind of think of Legos. When you have Legos, they have those like green board pieces that everything builds on. Because everybody has the same shape Legos and the same board, everybody can share and build and get stability. Yes, if you want to use another theme, use another theme. Go hog wild. But don't expect to come back to the Lego store when you make your own base piece and complain about why is it so difficult for you. Because by using the same stuff as everybody else, you get all of the benefits of me curating and the audience and the community sharing, which has been my stated goal for the whole year that this thing has been live. So Cadence is a great option. And it's well known in the community that it has all the things that we need, as you'll see today. Next, I've already got the latest package. If I needed to, I could check for updates. But what I'm going to do is just quick install everything. Think of this like stocking the fridge. I just called Instacart. Did you see how fast this is going? I can't even keep up with it. It's just, I just stocked the fridge with every ingredient that I might need. And you'll notice that I have been doing pretty good with regard to building up the new documentation for the Minute Launch Kit. Here in Minute Launch Kit is the list of all the ingredients that get installed with no hassles of you having to go out and build relationships, pay subscriptions, deal with all of the nonsense of license keys and everything else. Now, can you do that? Of course you should, if you feel you want to, but that's a choice now. So instead of buying all your stuff at the flea market or asking the individual part maker, can you help me with my whole car? And they're like, excuse me, I just sold you the shock absorbers. I don't know what to tell you about the rest. You can instead get the come to the car dealer who has shown you, I've given you all the parts assembled or at least ready for you to choose to assemble as a coherent unit. This is a reference link that will take you out. So if you click the link, for example, right now, this takes you to the Fluent community page or any of the parts. So this is a great resource, and it's at least something that's on the way towards what I ultimately will be having, which is the more detailed and more intimate information about all of these different solutions in the form of these little recipe cards, the 3 minutes to get this feature, that feature set up. Okay, now we've got all those installed. What I'm going to do is let's start putting stuff together. So if I go over to the plugins area, it acts just like it would for a normal WordPress site. And what I'm going to do is just selectively turn on the things to show you today the community. There's lots of other options we could do, but I don't need to do that at first. I'm going to start out with just the basics of the community part, and then we'll weave these in. I like to show you this live because these are the steps that I would take if I was building it with you. So literally, you're getting a sneak peek into what Spence's hands-on might look like. If we scroll down here, first of all, I just like to use Admin Menu Editor Pro because it organizes the left menu. I don't need affiliate WP right now. Autocomplete WooCommerce orders, perhaps. We'll get to that. And I'm going to go ahead and let's go here with Fluent. There's lots of great choices, but I'm going to add the Fluent Community Customizer. I'm going to turn that on last. I'm going to turn on right now Fluent CRM. There's so many great Fluent plugins included here. So here, Fluent Community Pro, Fluent Community, Fluent CRM Pro. We are probably going to go ahead and set up WooCommerce, but let's start with the Cadence stuff. So Cadence Blocks Pro. I'm going to use Cadence Pro theme. Launch flows, most likely. Product image options. And again, these are recipes that using LaunchKit, you can actually save as one thing. So if you have multiple sites, I can show you a way with the LaunchKit to just save this, and you don't have to go manually through turning all these on. You could, by the way, turn all of these on at once, but what happens is then you've got stuff in menus that could be just distracting to our purpose. Okay, and let's continue here. I'm going to also add the WooCommerce stuff. So WooCommerce subscriptions. We'll turn that on later, but let's turn it on now. WooCommerce Stripe Gateway. WooCommerce Checkout Manager will give us that ability to set certain things. If we get to that, WP Fusion. I think that's enough. Okay, so let's enable these. Let's activate these. And one of the things that you notice is I have not hidden the notices at the top, but normally once this is set up, I will, because this is what will allow me to, as I'll show you, to hide the madness that ensues. Look at this. Whoa, the kids just came out with the spray paint. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Okay. So instead, I'm just going to Serenity now, click hide. And now I've got the kind of dashboard that I always dreamed of if it was designed by somebody that wasn't allowing the kids on the property to spray paint the billboard or take me away to all kinds of setup managers. Because I intend to sell access here, let's go and set up WooCommerce basically. And you can use lots of different gateways for WooCommerce, but this is the easiest, simplest path. By the way, notice the menu items. I'm 58, and I can't figure this out if they're not in order. So the first thing I do is I go to Admin Menu Editor Pro, and I just click one button. One button is all it takes. This little magical button here, A to Z, brings more serenity to my life. And what I also do is I take these little placeholder spacers and see I'm dragging the dashboard to the top, and I'm going to drag LaunchKit to the top, and I'm going to drag Fluent CRM to the top. And I'll just either get rid of or move the other spacers down. So Fluent CRM is one that helps because I'm going to deal with the contacts. And when I do that, that saves me an infinite amount of energy. You can customize it any way you want and color code it, but now I've got the key things I want at the top. The other stuff is alphabetic below. Okay, so number one, I'm going to go to WooCommerce, and what we need to do is set up some basic stuff. Number one is if we're going to do some selling, we're going to probably want to at least have a payment gateway. And I recommend the Stripe gateway, unless you're one of my clients who, for example, is selling products that the federal government isn't happy credit cards being used for, like cannabis products or psilocybin or adult things and so forth. So right now, I've got the Stripe gateway. I'm going to move this to the top, and I'm going to enable it. And what we can do here, thankfully now, is we can set up just a test account, right? So create or connect a test account instead. It's super easy now to just add your live account. So what I'm going to do is here, I'll skip this form. I'm in test mode. I'm like good to go. So now we can do like checkouts and transactional experiments and see what happens, but we don't have to deal with actually being in Stripe. And the other thing here is when you set this up for real, you can change what the statements are and all these other things. We don't need to worry about that at the moment. Just understand there's plenty of settings here that you can deal with later. For right now, this is good enough. We'll save it. Now, I want to make sure that you understand I do not typically add these other instant pay like Apple Pay and Link by Stripe. There's a reason for that. What I like to do is take people on a journey with the marketing automation. And in order to do that, you have to keep them in the funnel that you have designated. If you allow people to click and go off to Apple Pay, I mean, you'll get the money, but you're going to lose the very streamlined way that they're going to go from A to B to C to D. And in doing so, you'll have like kids who have wandered off in the museum instead of sticking with the group. Later on, you're like, where's Spence? Little Spence, he's gone. I don't know. He went off to Apple Pay and I never saw him again. So I recommend not using those because they really don't provide any benefit over just the credit cards that people always have saved in their browser anyway. When you're using Apple and Google Pay, it shows up as choices in your dropdown. All right. Next, we need a thank you page just for the purposes of doing what Launch Flows will deliver. And this is secondary to the community, but it's important because Launch Flows will give us this ability to daisy chain somebody's journey together, starting with a product. So what I like to do here is I'm going to go to Pages, Add New, and I'm just going to open it in a new tab so that I don't have to lose my place where I was. And it doesn't have to be fancy. This is just a placeholder page where we're going to put the Launch Flow shortcode. So using Cadence, I just click here and let's disable the header. We'll keep it as a default page. Sometimes we can do boxed if you want the look and feel of that. And we'll just say, thank you. Thank you, Spence. And for this, we can actually use a pattern. So what I like to use is the free setup that I've offered at patterns.launchflows. Just literally say thank you or thanks. And let's copy that pattern, which has worked really, really well in the past. If you want to see what it looks like, you just click here. It's just a nice setup using some basic blocks. Gets us going really quick. Sometimes when I publish this, I turn off the pre-checks. And if you have any trouble with saving it the first time, just delete the short code, publish it. I don't know why Gutenberg is weird that way. I think because it's an older block in there, and then just resave it again afterwards. Okay. Now, I can also modify this really quickly and put my own logo and stuff in here. What I want to show you guys, by the way, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I love canva.com. One of the benefits of using canva.com is you become a rock star instantly without having to be super good at design. So I use this for every single thing that I do. You can see this like crazy amount of stuff, right? So if I had a community logo, I can just have Canva design it for me, which I did here. And I could just download this image and instantly use that. So I'm going to just put this as an example into this page. I'm going to say replace, upload, and let's see if I've got it here yet. Let's see if it downloaded. Hold on. Click here to download. And let's just upload this here. This is easy stuff, but I just want to show you guys, you don't have to sweat the details. I mean, there's no need to get freaked out about, let's see if that's the actual logo. Hold on. No need to get freaked out. That's my driver's license. Hold on. There's no need to get freaked out about the details of how to build stuff for hiring a designer. Oh, I see what's happening. It's only downloading it as a whole zip file. because you can just do this with Canva, right? So let's try this one more time. Download, I want to do just page 1. And again, working without a net, I had a dark logo and a light logo. So I'm just going to do the light logo. All right, there we go. And there's the community logo. So I might do that and I'm good to go. This is just as easy as it needs to be. A lot of you guys have been really conscientious, and I appreciate that, about what you're building and worrying about the details. Do not do that. Just MVP the sucker right to where it needs to go. Okay, so now we've got a logo for the site. We can use that in a second. We've also got a thank you page, which we're going to use for the checkout. And let's just save that and leave. Okay. Now next step is we're going to go ahead and finish setting up. In WooCommerce, we want to go to the general tab. I don't know, it keeps giving me all these warnings about leaving, but let's go ahead because we've already saved this. What we want to do is, for launch flows, we can choose under the general tab that thank you page we just made. So if we type thank you, and save that. Okay. Now, again, I want to get to the community part, but the important thing is what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set up a basic product so that for many of you, this will be a subscription product, but for others, it might be a one-time. What we're doing in this setup is I'm leaning heavily on what we do with LaunchKit in general, which is products become their own sales pages, and they have all the capabilities to onboard free users, paid users, subscribers, and more, bundles, groups, the Black Friday sale and stuff. So it doesn't matter what we choose. Let's just do a simple subscription for now. So what we're going to use this for is a couple things. Number one is it's the thing that we're going to send people right to the checkout through. And two, we're going to use it to trigger, if they bought it, that they get access to the community. So let's do a community membership. And you can build this out any way you want as a sales page. I've covered this in other videos, but this area can be fully customized. Well, I'll show you just to make it easy. I'm going to do simple subscription. This is virtual because I'm not like mailing them anything. And let's say it's $97 every month. I can also put in, if I want, a custom label for the string, if I wanted to change what it says, but like I'll just leave it standard. Right now with launch flows, we want to say where to send them when they buy. We're going to send them to the checkout page. And then afterwards, we're going to send them to that thank you page, because that way they're going to see really quickly, instant purchase, what they bought. And then finally, if I wanted to customize this page, I can do so by using the launch flows blank template and then using any of the components in Cadence to lay out the pattern of the page, right? It's really, really super simple. So I can do that, or I can even go back to patterns.launchflows and I could grab something like maybe if I wanted to use this as a sales page, right? Okay. Watch how easy this can be. If you didn't want to design from scratch, just copy the whole pattern code of whatever you're taking from the Cadence design library or the pattern library. There's so many things here. It's just crazy to build from scratch. Just use what's here, like picking Legos out of a bucket, right? I could just as easily use one of these, right? But I just copied the one from the pattern code, pattern area, and I'm pasting it in. And for this one, I know it likes to be a full width page. So I'm going to turn it into a full width page. Now here's the magic trick. With launch flows, we can essentially say, turn these buttons into direct to checkout links. So the way I do that is I go over here to settings and I go under the product itself. And once I've configured everything in this page the way I want it, with where it's supposed to go and the pricing, I can copy the direct to checkout link, which is right here. And I can just apply that to the button. So what I would do typically is I'll say something like, subscribe now. Okay. And I just need to take that link that I copied here and put it on that button. Now, there's lots of other things you could do here, but if you follow me, the whole idea is not to overcomplicate things. So I save this page and we're good to go. Now I can get fancier and I can, for example, I can change the background image of the design of this, but my purpose is to get to the community today. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I just want to show you that the styling of something that exists is far easier than starting from scratch. You'll notice in this one, there's a big background image. You could just replace that with something else if you don't like that. And the rest of it is just changing the words into whatever represents your particular product or service. Like when I was a kid, there was a thing called Mad Libs. They'd have a story and it would say, you'd ask your friends in English class, give me a noun, give me a verb, give me an adjective. You'd write it in and then read the story. Well, it's kind of same here. So let's say, join the community. Right? Okay. Finally, when somebody buys or gets this subscription product for free, we need to give it tags. So what we want to do is set up WP Fusion and Fluent CRM, because this is the part that's the magic trick. We can always use the product itself to trigger, but I like to use the full automation capability. So I'm going to leave this page alone again, and I'm going to close this other window. Let's go back to the dashboard instead of Fluent CRM and WP Fusion. I'm going to start with Fluent CRM. And I'm going to go over here to settings, and there's just some basic stuff to make this rock and roll. So let's go. We'll call it My Community, or whatever your business name is. And by the way, you can use the logo that you just took if you want. That's just fine. And I need one list. You can have multiple lists, but there's a problem with that. Think of it like if you went to a ballroom and there's 10,000 people, it's much, much easier to see and manage segmenting of people in the same room when they're all there and they just have different name tag stuff on, versus what if you had like 10 or 20 rooms, ballrooms, and you had to go like, where's Spence? I don't know. He's in ballroom number 10. I don't know, 3, 4. So by having one main list, think of it like as long as these clients could potentially have something in relation to each other, they're not completely separate business customers, put them all in one main list. And then you need some tags, right? So let's do some basic tags that represent the actions we want, right? So let's do, for example, subscribed community. And then the other one is purchased community. Now, what is this? Why am I doing it differently? Well, think of it like if you joined Costco. When you join Costco, there's two things that happen. You get your Costco membership card, and then you get the receipt for having once purchased the Costco membership. If you stop paying for the membership, they take the card away. Well, they don't take the card away, but they just, technically, you're not supposed to go in with it. But you still keep the receipt, because there may be a reason that Costco wants to reach out to everybody that previously was a subscriber and let them know. So by giving them both, we get the benefit there of both worlds. Like we can track or segment people based upon the things they did in the past, but also are they currently able to access the community, right? And that's all we need for that basic setup. But what we're going to do is also we don't need to install the Fluent forms, but we'll just allow it to. And next, what we're going to do is set up the basics here of just the Fluent dashboard. So we want to make sure that it synchronizes the users into WooCommerce and otherwise. And to do that, we just go again back to settings, and we go to settings general. Enable the sync, right? This one is interesting. Deleting Fluent contact on deleting user. This might be useful to you if you want to make it that when somebody is essentially deleted as a user, you take them out of your database. I don't use that because there are people who don't want to be users that still want me to email them and back and forth. So this is an option. When they register in WordPress anyway, we want to assign them to the main list. And I don't give them a tag at that point. They're on the list. That's enough. This option here allows me to fill the WooCommerce checkout fields with the Fluent CRM data. This is really super handy. When I've got somebody who's a previous customer, they're in the database, they come back to WooCommerce. Why do I need to torture them for filling out the fields? This allows them to get it right away. Okay, so this is enough for now, except what we're going to do is later we'll do some more stuff with the WP Fusion connection. We are going to use the integrations. And one of the things that you can see here is like with WooCommerce, we can add people to the list and make them subscribed and synchronize them. Okay. Next, let's just real quickly go over to settings, WP Fusion, and connect WP Fusion to Fluent CRM. So we just type Fluent CRM, and this is this site, Fluent CRM provides through WP Fusion a way to be connected to multiple sites, which, as you'll see, also works with the Fluent customizer, because now you can have like your social network on multiple sites and you can track the user's journey, show different things. It's really kind of wild, and I'll get into that in a second. Okay, so now we've got the capability of going back to our product, and if we refresh this page, let's just say what we have, we can choose from WP Fusion's tags to give somebody those 2 tags when they subscribe. Just like the Costco example. So if we refresh the page here and just scroll down to the product data tab, the WP Fusion option here says apply a tag when purchased. We're going to give them both tags. That's like Costco. When you join, you get the membership card and the receipt for the membership card. But notice here, remove the tags. If they stop paying or cancel, we're going to remove both of those tags. And what we're going to do instead, let me zoom this in a little bit. Instead, what we're going to do is on the canceled, we're going to give them back the purchase tag. Okay. If it expires, we're going to give them back the purchase tag. And the reason for this is that way we will know in the future if they canceled or expired that they still were a member at one point. They previously purchased it, but they're just not a current subscriber. Okay. I'm going to have to stand because my leg is vibrating. I had a good result with my surgeon yesterday, but I am still in transition for standing sitting. So, all right. Now we've got the basics of what we need. Let's check out whether this works. All right. So one of the things we're going to do is let's just go over here, and right out of the box, just Cadence provides us a shop. This isn't like any super awesome thing, but this is what we're going to start with because we can customize it later. I also want to, by the way, let's just set the product image to that icon or the logo. And notice we're only like 30 minutes into this and I'm already pretty much there, but the fun is about to start. So out of the box with the regular shop, this takes us to the sales page where I can learn all about the stuff. Notice how awesome and different this is from the normal WooCommerce where you just get some janky page that's like set up with tabs and stuff. Here you can customize it to your heart's content and you can subscribe now. And in doing so, it's going to put them in the checkout. So let's customize the checkout with launch flows. Now, one of the things you see here is all this crazy stuff that we don't want to look at. So what I recommend is with launch flows, what we're going to do instead is replace the default checkout block of WooCommerce, which is not quite ready for prime time, with instead nothing for now. And we're just going to go to page. We're going to turn on the launch flows checkout option. And even without customizing thing, that's going to bring a certain level of control and sanity to what we've got here. Much better, right? Now, one of the things that I could do here is I just don't like to have all that stuff at the top. So I go to my Cadence page layout and I disable the headers. And that, first of all, brings this down to earth in terms of, okay, I like this better. But I don't need all this stuff. This is a virtual product. So let's go ahead and use, by the way, let's go back to our dashboard. In WooCommerce settings, let's use the WooCommerce checkout customizer so that we can get rid of all those things for virtual products. And what I do here is I go, first of all, remove order notes. Yes, because I don't need those as a field. Then I go to the billing area and I just essentially disable everything except for email, first name, and last name. And in doing so, I get a really nice experience with very little work. I put the email first because that's the first thing you always want to get, especially with abandoned cart. That's the thing that will allow you to immediately memorize or memorialize that this person has come to visit. And if we do use abandoned cart down the road, we can send them the email necessary to say, hey, Spence, you left something in the cart. Okay, now that I've saved that, let's take a look at our checkout, which should be more civilized. It's much nicer. Now, I can further customize this if I want by using the Launch Flows pattern that's built into the Launch Flows plugin. So just go to Patterns, and I would just go to Launch Flows, and I would just choose the 2-column layout, which is pretty nice out of the box. And this gives you even more control over which fields to show and where, and we can also hide stuff and so forth. What I tend to do with this is I like to actually take the notices nowadays, and I like to put them at the top. And I like to put the login at the top. And you can put them either right or left side. All you need to do is just drag them in the new spot. And I also can add another thing here, which is I'm going to say add new block. I'm going to add the save stripe. So I just type Stripe, and you use the Save Stripe credit card option from Launch Flows. What that will do will make it that they don't really, once they bought once from you, they don't ever have to put their credit card in again, but you don't have to overwhelm them with like all these choices. Now notice this is really just nice and clean. We've got a couple things that I would get rid of. We're in the United States, so I don't need this personal data warning. So I'm going to also go back here and under accounts and privacy, I want to make sure that, first of all, we don't allow guest checkout. We want people to log in and be included in our CRM. There is no difference to them about this. They don't know the difference between a guest checkout and regular. And then what I want to do is they can create an account during checkout, and that's it. So these two choices. I want to use the email address, and I want to send the password link. This means that people get instant satisfaction just by putting in their credit card, and then they're already logged in and using the site. But they do get a follow-up email as part of the process. So if they ever get stuck, it reminds them, oh, just click here, go set your own password. I'm going to get rid of the checkout privacy policy. I don't need it at checkout. I can just put a footer in the United States that says, hey, man, this is our policy, and you're good to go. Maybe in the GDPR countries, you need that. And now we're pretty good. One of the things I'm going to do just to clean this up a bit, though, is I'm just going to move that order review over to balance this out a little bit. And this is, again, a minor nuance because you can do any design you want, but it just feels to me like this is a little, more balanced. Also, there's things that I won't go into today that what we can do is balance out. Like, I don't need to show them all this subtotal, total, recurring totals, all that. It's just too much. What I'm going to do is I'll put billing above, and then we'll move on to the community part. Okay, so now we've got essentially everything we need to do a live checkout. When they do a live checkout, somebody is going to get a tag. Let's test this real quick. I'm going to log out from me. And let's go back to the home page here to the shop. And let's give it a shot. Okay, and you can direct people right to this subscription page. You don't have to go to the shop first. I'm going to put in a new thing. Let's do who should we check out? Bill Murray. And Bill can use his test credit card, which again is super easy because this allows you to literally try things on the fly like a real checkout with almost no effort. You saw I've got this all set up as we're going. So once this is enabled, the community features are like icing on the cake. And now I'm at my thank you page. And there's all this other details, which I'm going to show you how we can edit this. So let's leave this page alone. But what I want to do is enable the hide some of these features from the design stuff so that all they're going to see is the community membership. And in order to do that, let's just go ahead and go back in here. And the reason I'm going through all these, steps with you guys is because this is how you can follow along, come back later and just do this from scratch. So in other words, this is a way for me to share with you in maybe an hour how to set your whole thing up. What I want to do is I want to go to that thank you page and I want to limit using the shortcode parameters which things get displayed, because right now it's just showing all the details of the design. And if you want the shortcode, we have that at Launch Flows documentation. Go to the shortcodes area. And all you need to do is grab that thank you. You can just search thank you. And this is all the parameters. So if I just copy this whole block instead, I'm going to replace this here with that. And notice details no, image size, image no, name no. What I want is description no. What I do want to have is I want to have the image yes, name yes, excuse me for my throat today, quantity yes, price yes, but I just don't want the description stuff. Okay, and the total yes, that's fine. So that's going to make this look nicer. And we can kind of see it here. I don't have a purchase, but yeah, there you go. So like I might make that image a little smaller. So I might make image size 50 or something. Really simple. You don't have to be a designer or a rocket scientist to make this look good, Brilliant. Notice there's links that take you back to your account dashboard, or you can look at your orders, etc. Okay, so now that we've got that set up, let's go ahead and see what happened, by the way, with Mr. Murray. If you were the owner of the site, you've now got a paid subscriber, and they're in the Fluent CRM. This is where the magic begins. Look, we've got Mr. Bill Murray, famous from Caddyshack and other movies, who has now joined our main list. We can see what he's paid, his purchase history, what he has done in terms of previous actions, and he's also got the 2 tags necessary for access. Let's have some fun with the community now. All right, so the community plugin itself, it's already activated, but what we're going to want to do is turn on, first of all, a drink for me. We're going to want to turn on this new customizer feature, because I had a question yesterday when I revealed this. The team at Fluent is awesome. There's over 100 people, Shah Jahan and Juice and the rest of the team under it. But they can only do so many things so fast. Plus, as you can see here, there's 100 other parts that could be put together. They're not going to be able to figure out, or have the time to figure out, all the tens of thousands of options that could be done when you weave that one particular plugin with their other plugins together in a solution. So when the person said, you should leave this to Fluent to do, I said, no, that's not how WordPress works. That's not how it has ever worked. WordPress is open source so that those of us who wish to do so can make other solutions out of all these parts, including the support and the expertise, which today I'm demonstrating I bring to the table. This is not something you would get when you buy a singular plugin. You're not going to get a concierge experience of how to get the outcome you want. You're going to get just help with the particular plugin that you bought. Okay. The Fluent community itself is amazing because it's a lightweight solution that out of the box exists in a frame. We'll call this office hours community. How about that? We can set the address at whatever we want. I just leave it as portal, and we've already got a logo, but just for using this again, let's add that logo right here, and we get all in one. Now you can choose these other formats, basic, course, product. I'm just going to go with blank because what I want is the bare minimum so we can set up what we want. Public, private, or your choice. I'm going to do only logged in users because that's the concept. We want somebody to pay here by getting the community portal subscription. We have all these other things where people can subscribe and so forth. Of course, we can use Fluent SMTP, which we already got when we send the emails. Okay, once we got that, we've got our basic portal. What we can do is go to the portal, and we will see, light or dark, that they've thoughtfully, I say thoughtfully, let's go to light mode, given us the portal inside of what I would call a frame. Okay. So if we look at this by itself, what's nice about this versus BuddyPress and BBPress is that it's just in its own container. But hundreds of people in my community have said, Spence, I already have a site and I'm selling stuff and doing stuff, and I've got LearnDash and content. Like, this is really confusing. How am I going to get people back to the main site? Well, that's where the customizer comes in. So what I wrote up as part of LaunchKit is an accessory called the Community Customizer. This is the beta release. It's inside of LaunchKit. So you can download it today. It's 1.0 beta. First thing you want to do, and this is a cool feature, I really love this, is you take the portal address where you're actually hosting this core framework portal, and you put it in here. Okay. If we do nothing else to save that, this allows us, if we want, to share this portal on any number of sites. We can have hundreds or thousands of sites that are part of our network that are all accessing the same portal through this method on their WordPress sites. To me, that's feature number one that's huge. But the biggest one is we can say, where do we want to display this now as part of our normal site? And so for this one, let's make a page called, let's call it other than portal. Let's make a new page. We'll call it my portal. So all you need to do is set up a blank page with Cadence. And I'm going to use the design tools here like I did before. I'm going to get rid of the header and footer. I'm just going to say full width. And I'm going to get rid of the boxing. So I'm going to unbox it and disable the spacing. I just want like a canvas that goes across the whole page. And that's it. Now that I've done that, I can go back to this page in the community customizer. Let's refresh. And let's choose that page, My Portal. Let's see what happens when we do this. Now, and by the way, let's add that to our menu so we have it as a choice. So if I go to Appearance, Menus, I want to keep this real. Let's make a primary menu with Cadence. This is what I usually use. And I'm going to add, for now, just 2 things. Number 1 is I'm going to add the My Portal. And I don't even think, by the way, see, they don't even have the other portal page. So I'm just going to say My Portal, and I'll say My Account. What I could do also, by the way, is I can put in the link to that particular product. This would be useful as well. So if I wanted to, I would probably, let's go over here. One of the things you can do is go to Screen Options, turn on Products. And now I can choose from Products, and I could just put that community membership right in my menu. Okay. And let's look at the front. Make sure I saved it. And again, I haven't done my logo or anything else, but now I've got the basics here. Now I would probably make the sales page my home page. So let's just do that, because if I was literally using this as a sales mechanism, I would make the first thing you see, like all the information about the community and the product and the service. So what we can do is just go to Settings, General, and we're going to choose that page as the home page. So instead of the blog, sorry, we're going to go to Settings, Reading. And the static homepage should be, you know, I don't have this set up with a redirect because it doesn't show out of the box. I have a way to do this. It doesn't show out of the box the product pages. So for right now, I'll just put the shop on the homepage, but you get the gist of it. If I wanted to, I could just take that product page that I had and duplicate it to the homepage, which would work just as well, because all I'm trying to do is just give them the link. So just for expediency, I'll just show the shop page now. But if you follow my meaning, it doesn't matter when you put that custom content here on the homepage. In fact, you know what? Let me just show it, because that way everybody asks me later, what were you talking about, Spence? So all I need to do is, if I just take this, I can select this whole layout. The beauty of using Cadence and blocks with the method I've just shown, we copy this. We can even make it a pattern. Let's just go ahead and add that as our home page, right? So to do that, we'll do New Page, and we'll call it Home Page. I just paste it in. And let's make sure we also set up the format. So we disable the header, make it full width, unboxed, and so forth. Okay. And now by setting this as our home page, we can choose it from our dropdown. So if we go back to Settings, Reading, we will choose that. Home page. Ta-da. Okay. And by the way, while I'm here, let's just throw that icon in for the name of the site, because why not? Because I'm just going to give you the satisfaction of saying Spence actually set this whole thing up literally within the talk of his thing. I click on header, and in this one, I have the logo here, and I'm going to choose to use the logo only that I had updated, or that I had installed a minute ago. So I'm going to choose this community logo. It's not the right format. You notice like it's kind of janky, too big, but if I trim it a little, I can probably get away with it fitting in without too much trouble. I might make it a little smaller. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the homepage and have some fun with the customizer, because I'm going to show you some stuff. Whoops. I'm going to show you some stuff that's really, really cool about how you're going to do this now with the automation and the customization. So now we have joined the community, blah, blah, blah. When I click to subscribe now, that'll take me to the sales page where I can buy the product and be good to go. But let's look at what we've got for right now in the My Portal. Since I'm logged in, let's shrink this down a bit. and I'm ready to sit down. Okay. Notice one thing right off the bat. Do you notice right away that, oh, the portal is now part of our main site? But one of the things I want you to notice is we still are showing the default menu of the portal, which is not a bad thing, but it's sort of redundant. So let's take a look at what we can do about that to tweak it. So the community customizer allows us to control the display. You're welcome, Julie. This allows us to control the display of all of the menus. Let's start with top left menu. If I choose, there's position 1, 2, and 3. I might make it left, center, right, just when I change the label today, when I update this, but like 1, 2, and 3. The top left menu is in the number 1 spot, but I can also hide all of these. So one of the things I might do is hide this. And let's turn off the banner also. When I do that, let's first make sure I saved it, and then let's refresh that. When I do that, look at this. Now we're cooking with gas. I've now got, I just pause for a second. What we've got, as stupid simple as this is, and I know the team at Fluent, the community, the WP Managed Ninjas, eventually will get to doing this stuff. But you can do this today, right now, along with all the other stuff that I include in my community. With LaunchKit. So what you've got now is, now you've got the kind of thing that you need, right? So I took away the shop page, but if I displayed the shop page, you can have all of the features that people, browse and look and get your stuff. They can go to their My Account, whatever. But when they want to go to their My Portal, guess where it shows up? It shows up as part of your site. Super cool. And as a benefit, this portal can show up anywhere else you want. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. So if we took this URL here from the back end, and let's just do this. I don't usually like to do try.new, but I'm going to do it. Watch this. I launched a new site for one of my partners. I am running a business where I have 30, 40 partners or 30, 40 affiliates or whatever it is I want. I want those people to get access to whatever. I can set up the same level of control and access via Fluent CRM for the members on that site. But just to show you the display, all I need to do is go to LaunchKit, do the same thing we did a second ago. And I'm just going to throw in the 2 plugins that we need here, right? You don't even need both plugins. You really just need one plugin. You need just the community customizer plugin. So if I go back over here and I go into LaunchKit Pro, I'm going to install that one plugin. So now I'm going to make a second partner site that has access to the community, and the same level of controls apply because the people who see it will have the login and access membership from the primary hub. This is how I do it with all of my stuff. So I'm going to just go ahead and install the Fluent Community Customizer. There it is, 1.0 beta. And I turn it on. Now all I do is go into the customizer. I pop in, guess what? The URL, and I can set up the portal page where I want it to display, of course, right? Let's just put it on the sample page. I need to at least go to that sample page and adjust it. So what I would probably do here is also, let's just go to LaunchKit and install Cadence so it's consistent, right? So I'm going to install Cadence. I don't really need anything fancy otherwise, so I don't need all the pro stuff. And I just go to that page, sample page, and let's just edit it to make it, full width so it looks the way it should look, right? So if we go over here, let's turn off the header, the footer, full width, unboxed, no vertical spacing, save. And I would get rid of all this extra stuff on the page just because otherwise you're going to have all of that show up in addition. We don't want that. Let's take a look. Ta-da! I've now got a second partner site that is displaying all of the content from the main portal. And basically that's the cool part about this one option, right? Hi, from Spence. And I can put anything I want in here as a GIF and an image and so forth, a smiley face, all the features we're going to talk about in a second, but we'll put something in here. and I got to post it into, I don't have a space yet, so I might have to make a space. So we'll come back to that. So I'll leave this open for a second, but the basic idea is multiple sites are possible. Okay, next, let's go. And now that we've got it set up, look at the couple of other features. This is the one that coming now on Black Friday is really incredible. I'm a marketer at heart. Now, by the way, I didn't show you this, but let me show you. With the menu items, instead of hiding them all, what if I just wanted to show the menu from the top right, and I wanted to put it to the left, and I only wanted to show that? I could just change the position to position number 1, and it will display that now, but it will move it over to the left side above the other column, where it makes more sense to me, at least. And probably I'll add a feature to put that into the vertical menu. But the idea is awesome. Thank you. The idea is we now have full control over displaying only the things that we need to display. Let's do the banner, because as a marketer, this is the biggest thing ever. This is going to blow your mind. I made it where you can just easily add a banner. Why do I need a banner, Spence? Well, you need a banner because, number one, it's where you're going to probably display things that you want people to see who have not joined the community, and also to sell stuff or to notify people of stuff. And because of what we've got with Cadence, this can be really powerful, but it starts with the basic WYSIWYG editor. So if I display the banner, I could just choose different colors. And by the way, in this instance, for some reason, it's showing the hexadecimal, but it normally shows the color picker, the color chooser. So I'll make sure that's fixed. And let's just say white and black, and let's just say 20. This was a plugin that is in beta. I'm going to release the full version today. So if I just put a banner in by itself, let's do a background color. It's going to need a hex color. So let's just choose, let's just do basic colors that I know of. This could be a little quirk today because the normally it shows up. Okay, let's say for the banner, I just do plain text. This is a banner. Okay, sounds good. And it gets you to the place you want to go. And it allows you to do links. So, you know, click here for deal. If I want, I could just go ahead and turn that into a regular old link, right? So I could choose a page on the site or wplaunchify.com, you know, pricing. And I can set the parameters here for opening a new tab. This stuff is real basic. So I give you the flexibility of what I would like myself of, I'm not going to force down your throat. You have to choose from WYSIWYG only. This by itself is cool, but let's make it even cooler. When we're using Cadence and Cadence blocks, this will now accept short codes. Hello, my favorite short codes, which is what I use for all of my stuff because it's the universal way to transport cool PHP code around. So in doing so, if we go to Appearance, we go to Cadence, we're going to turn on this here, hooked elements. And this by itself is going to give us now a new option in the Cadence menu for elements under Appearance, Cadence Elements. This means we can make really cool stuff and it gets a short code. So we're going to go ahead and say, add a new element. Let's rock this baby. Okay. So what we're going to do is super cool, make a content section, and I'll call this Black Friday banner. No, we don't need the exclamation. Now, I like to use Cadence row as a way to hold stuff in. So the first thing I do is just type row, and I can use a pre-made thing if I want, but I'm just going to start from scratch. I'm going to say inherent max width from theme, and let's make the background of this some pretty color, maybe like a blue. And then I'm going to put the heading in here, but I'm going to use the advanced heading from Cadence, and I'm going to say Black Friday deal. What I want to do is two things. First of all, let's change the color to white so it can be visible. Let's center it. And we can, by the way, make it bigger if we want. Let's center it here. Now, let's add zero padding. I just want to unset that, and zero margin, because we don't really want to add to what we're doing. We want it really nice and centered. Otherwise, it'll push it down a little because it's a heading. And then let's go below it. Let's add some buttons. Okay. And again, I'm going to use the Cadence buttons. And we're going to do button one. Let's set this up, by the way, larger. And we'll do the same thing. Button 1 is, HTTPS wplaunchify.com, pricing. Okay. Style, let's to the background color something that's nicely contrasting, right? So for the color, we'll make the color dark, but the background will make light so it shows up. And then let's call it check out deal. And what we can do is make the hover style as well. So we want to match that up. We want to be specific, right? So that when we hover on it, it has the same thing, right? So background color, we could do slightly different, but the idea is we don't want it to blend out. Now, here's the magic. We go ahead under the cadence option. We say, where does this exist? Well, it doesn't exist anywhere because we're going to use the short code. We say display settings, show on whole site. And we say, who can see it? Everybody. Because we're going to selectively use this. But just understand, you can also conditionally show buttons and things based upon, does somebody already own this? Are they already logged in? Do they have a tag? So we're going to take this now. We're going to go back to the elements listings. It's published. We're going to copy this short code. You know where I'm going with this. Copy. I'm going to go over to my portal settings under the community customizer. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to get rid of the background here. Now this is white and whatever, but when I don't know why the color controls are missing, but when we get the color controls back, let's see if they're existing over here, by the way, then you'll be able to select the slider to transparent and so forth. Yeah, they're broken on both of them. So I'll fix that this morning. Hey, it's beta. I just literally launched it. Wow. While taking painkillers for my back. Okay, so now let's take a look at the front. Go to my portal. Oh, cool. But let's get rid of that padding. We don't need that black padding. And let's change, by the way, the background setting so that it's, not showing anything, right? We can't really do the transparency here. So we'll just do for right now, DEDD, and the background text color is whatever. And the padding, we're going to make 0. And in doing so, we will get, and I'm going to round the corner on this, we will get, ta-da, a sales banner that can be selectively displayed and has all the kind of conditional controls that come from using cadence as well as the marketing automation. Because we can set things up that show inside of here like crazy town. One of the things you can show is like using WooCommerce shortcodes. You can quite literally put the product and the listing thing in here. Now, the way I would do that is I would just go ahead and use one of the built-in tools or components for showing a WooCommerce product. And you can set this up on a test page, or you can do it in the actual portal element. If I go back here real quick, appearance elements. For example, I'm not saying this works because it might take up too much space, but watch. Instead of a button linking to something else, I could just put the display right here. And the way we do that is we say, let's get into the row, into the section. And we don't need this extra paragraph. So if we go in here under the buttons, let's start with this, add after. And watch this. If I just type product, I can do product tags. Let's use this selector instead. If we type WooCommerce. Featured product, or single product, or product by stock, hand-picked product, mini cart, store notices. Any of these things I believe should work. I haven't tested all of them, but let's just try something. For example, let's do a hand-picked product and see what happens. And we only have one product here. And again, if we wanted to, we can align this and center this and adjust this, right? So how many columns? I do like one column, not 14. One column. It's kind of big, right? So we might want to not show the product image, just have the title or something like that. And we can do add cart. I'm not going to go into detail on this. Let's just see how it works out. I'm quite sure this is going to work. These are part of my testing processes. So if I go back to the portal page, my portal, and I think the only thing that's wrong is the color. So we've set the color in our community portal to white. Let's change that back just so we get the dark font, which is kind of cool that it applies. I didn't really test this through, but like if we just say, 222 as the font color, then that should work. And if we do change that thing to add the image and so forth, but you see, this is where you can go. I can have 1, 2, 3 products. I have it in a nice setup here. And I can just, when the sale's over, I can either remotely or automatically turn it off if I'm using an embed code with Logic, or I could just turn off the banner there. So when Black Friday is over, as a simple thing, I would use this for like, hey, it's Friday, it's office hours. Click here, go to watch me on YouTube or something, right? That's super easy. I didn't try that, but let's actually do this. If I did this, and then I'm going to wrap it up with you guys. If I go to YouTube, WP Launchify, if I were to, for example, this is going to maybe play, I hope not, but let's see. If I were to just take the embed code here, right? All I need is just the URL, and then the short codes allow me to do that directly. When I go to Appearance, Cadence, Elements, I could just do a YouTube video there. So let's see how that works out. And I like to go in this mode so I can see everything. And let's get rid of the product. Let's get rid of the button. And let's just put in a YouTube video. YouTube embed, paste it in. Blankety blang. If it's too big, we can adjust it because that's kind of the way it rolls. That's not bad. I mean, if I wanted it tinier, I'd just put a section and I would limit the size of the section, or I can limit the section here and just say, you know, structure, what's the maximum width or something like that. Okay. So let's just see what it looks like though. And we got to also turn the banner back on. Now, the flexibility of this, I hope, is not lost on you guys, because what we're essentially able to do here is, let's see if that kicks in. There it is. What we're able to do is mostly allow you to have full control now over the menus and the display in line. This is an accessory that's in LaunchKit. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not selling accessory plugins. I'm not doing this as an a la carte. What I'm doing is this is part of the community. And I want to announce today, too, that I am going to be launching my own community that's going to be an add-on. So those of you who join me at WP Launchify will already get this stuff today, the beta included as part of the LaunchKit. You can get it software only for $47 and go on your own, or you can go $97 where it's a fully hosted solution. You keep or use the site for other reasons. That's just thrown in with Rocket. That's a $30 value by itself. But you get the software and unlimited consultative email with me. The community is going to be an add-on for those who want to do it. Kind of like, as I said, this somewhere between the email of this and the hands-on support. And I think that's going to allow me to share an infinite array of really cool and powerful stuff that I have been building that does these kinds of things. So instead of, by the way, once we've got this set up, this other site will update as well. So it probably has its own banner. You can have, you know, a banner for each. So for those of you who are interested in accelerating what you do, if you join me with this, I'm able to essentially give you something that nobody else is able to give you. It's all of the software curated with full documentation, personal concierge email support, optional hands-on support, a guarantee that it's all working and smooth, plus all of my insider knowledge, all of the community knowledge, all of the shared stuff that people build who are using the kit. And to me, that's the coolest thing of all. It's like the Lego kit, the IKEA kit, the Mercedes owner's kit, because yes, you can still buy the software from the original vendors and get support from them if you wish, but there's no possible way they can do or show you what I'm doing, because this is a full-time job by itself. And I don't apologize for it, because I work and I'm colleagues with all of these people. We all agree this is good for everybody. There's nobody robbing anybody of anything, because I am adding a service and a type of WordPress as a thing that just doesn't exist elsewhere. And even with WP Fusion, with Jack, I'm very close with, you can buy WP Fusion a la carte, or you can get it through here, because as long as Jack and the team there, Ace, aren't doing anything to support this, the software is always free. That's what we all understand. All right, I'm going to wrap it up because my leg and my foot are saying it's time. I think I pushed my limits today. I want to thank you guys. If you want to get this, I am thinking of something interesting. So what I'm going to do is this. I have not prepared a Black Friday deal. If you've not joined me yet, join me today for $97. And what I'm going to do is, for those who join today, I'm going to send you a gift of some kind, whether it's in the form of a refund or a bonus or something. In the meantime, I may publish an actual Black Friday thing, but at $97 a month, this is already a ridiculous steal because it's $6,500 of software, unlimited value on what my help might be. And I have thousands of clients already who've been using this stuff, including many of the folks here today. Bernie is one of them. That this has just changed their entire output. And if you guys who are here want to pipe in on that, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody who's joined me and been supportive of me. My results from the surgery seem to be very positive. I saw the surgeon yesterday. My nerve is in transition, but there's definitely changes that have happened, which I think are positive. I just have to, I effed around and I'm waiting. So you stir the pot and you wait. In the meantime, I've been able to do a lot of work and concentrate on this, which has been terrific. I'm very excited for what 2024 into 2025 brings. I look forward to seeing all you guys there. I'll see you next week. Bye.